If you're training a reactive dog and you're at that point where you want to take them to a store, or you're trying to go for a hike on a trail where there is no options, you're going to find yourself in a losing situation. You got to make sure that your handling skills first and foremost are on point. That dog knows a short leash walk. That dog knows how to respond appropriate to the leash. They don't get triggered. They know what to expect. You got clear communication. As well, you've exposed them to triggers that cause that reactivity, situations that cause that reactivity, and that they have shown you that they can be relaxed, they can share space. And you've used an open space where you got many options first, and you and your dog can work with each other in these situations. I'd even say that you've made it to the point where you are working somewhat on interactions. And if you don't believe this dog reacts, well, this dog definitely's got some frustration. Whenever around dogs, this one's a daycare dog. If she sees dogs playing, fetching, and she's missing out, that frustrates her. Either she can't say hi, or she wants to jump in and control things. So what we do when we're, say, going to the trail, again, first and foremost, we're gonna do some work first, right out of the car. Here we're just practicing getting in and out, getting into a heel specifically. It just gives us some mental stimulation. It gives me the opportunity to work with her and get her engaged with me. We give her a little bit of break after some work, but what we also practice is what we want her to do prior. So we do a little recall, we do some short leash walking. Before she gets that freedom, we're just running through and cycling through things. I want to build that engagement before I'm stuck. I want her to see a dog here where I got options before I reach those trails where I got no options. If I'm on the trail and that's the first dog I'm going to see, I'm probably going to find myself in a losing situation. But here, before we get on the trail, we're going to do a little work. We're going to cycle through all of our handling skills and just make sure that we're communicating together. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna dip in and dip out. I'm gonna give her a little taste of what is to be expected on these trails. Again, she's in a short leash. I'm not giving her total freedom yet. We're still kind of working. We're just dipping into the trail where we're not gonna have any options. And what I wanna know is that she can respond to me before, again, something just pops out of nowhere over there. So we're gonna practice some recalls, coming away from it, sitting, giving me engagement, responding again to my body and the leash. And then she's gonna get some freedom. Most of the time, you guys just hit the trail, you just get out the door, you just start going. You're gonna find yourself with a reaction real quick. So again, even before we pop around that corner where I don't know what is, I'm just practicing calling her and fulfilling that recall. Don't blow me off. We're also practicing a sit, a focus spin, just breaking up this hike. And I want her to feel that leash tension and respond with engagement and attention. That's where, especially in this situation, we have now gotten ourselves into a losing matter. I got no space. Here I toss some treats. That purely positive crap, it's not gonna work. So I need to handle her now. I don't think that she's going to succeed in this dog passing us on a tight trail. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm gonna have to start making decisions for her. And she knows what to expect. And also, I'm not just doing this out of nowhere. We've done this whole trip. Most of us only actually start doing stuff with our dogs when distractions come around and we're already in a losing situation. That just causes more reactivity. But here I can be calm, I can be confident, firm, and just keep leading her into a successful area in which either this dog could pass, or a lot of times she knows what a short leash means. She knows where she should be on my hip. A lot of times I keep the dog here and let the other dog pass behind us. But again, I don't necessarily think she's going to succeed. This is really the first time we're in this situation. So we execute what we've been practicing. This is what we train for. We come off of the trail, I point her away, I'm gonna have her sit, and then I'm going to let her make the choice to see this dog and ignore. Again, I'm setting her up to succeed, and I think that she can handle this situation. I don't want to always be dictating things for her, and we've set her up to where she can see this, and through all the training and all the exposure we've done, she can handle it, it's successful. More importantly, this is the most replicable that I find for other people who aren't as skilled. Some people will say, hey, you need a pop on that leash. Well, I've seen that trigger a lot of reactions. Regardless, I messed up and I even waited way too long to sit that dog after we got off the path. I should have committed her to at least a sit way quicker And a lot of the times what we do is we wait way too long, let our dogs look way too long before we're actually interjecting, and then we're triggering them regardless of what we do. But if we're using that pop here, it's good as a correction. Hey, get that nose up. I need you in that heel. Or if I'm walking down the trail and I stop, it's a little bit clearer for the dog to understand why they're feeling that leash correction. Same here in the short leash, just a little pluck. But that has to be finessed. It's hard to pluck just the appropriate amount, use that leash just the appropriate amount, not too much. And most clients are either timed poorly or they can't do it hard enough or too hard. And in this situation, that's going to be triggering. And here we've practiced it. I know that she can not be triggered by the leash tension, because if your dog can't handle that and they are going to react, then you need to commit them to ignoring that distraction. That means that I do not let them look at that dog while it is passing. But here again, I think this is easier for people to replicate. And that all is based off of the exposure and training that we've done prior to being in that situation. So now we're in a shopping center and we're gonna do exactly the same thing. We're gonna do some work before we're actually in that store. And if I'm in public, most of the time, especially in a tight setting, I do not give dogs much freedom. So we're practicing the short leash, passing distractions, even setting her up to sit appropriately. And then what we're gonna do when we reach the store, we just dip in, I give her a little taste, and then we dip out. And on the way out, if there's no problems, she's gonna get rewarded for that. Let's say she went in and she was a nightmare, well, we're not giving her any rewards for that. But here, again, we're just throwing in everything we've been practicing. There is nothing new and we have run through it. It's all about getting those reps in, getting those working sessions in where you're going back to back, teaching and expanding and shaping the behaviors you want. Because in this situation, when there's a dog on the other side of the aisle, I can appropriately communicate with this dog and she can respond appropriately. She smells that dog, she knows it's there, she can hear it, she can smell it, but there's not that hyper focus on that. And we can then get to a point where, again, I can let her see, and then just by moving my body, I can even give her a little nudge back to me, and then lo and behold, on the other side of that is a bunch of rewards. And again, what I like to do in stores is not give dogs a ton of freedom. Not a ton of freedom because things sneak up on you and then boom, there's a reaction. So here we're just practicing the short leash, even just turning in appropriately and spinning appropriately in that heel position. And then again, seeing distractions and being able to disengage from them. Then she gets what she wants, which is a little bit of freedom. Give her a little break, she gets to smell around. That's what she loves to do, aside from also picking things up from the ground. But this is where, again, you're in that routine, that structure that most trainers are, where they work first and then their dog gets free time. And really the secret for us dog trainers is our dogs live a structured, routine lifestyle so that obedience can flourish. So the keys to success, make sure your handling skills are down pat before you're in this situation, and that you've exposed your dog to these triggers before you're in a losing situation. Work them and have a lifestyle of work before freedom, instead of your dog just getting whatever they want right away. Make sure you're training proactively. You want to make sure that you're prepared before you need it. Dip into stressful situations and then dip out. Just give your dog a little taste into the store and then out before a problem happens. Make sure you're handling your dog appropriately, whether that's straight line leash tension, whether that's a pop on the leash. You've practiced it and your dog knows what to expect when they feel that leash tension. And then just know what your dog can handle. Try to limit the amount of losing situations you're putting your dog in.